Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Katie Sutton here, intuitive channel and founder of Zen Within Academy with your Zen Withins'day update on this beautiful morning here in Charlotte. So let's see, what do I want to talk about today? What's top of mind right now is one of our energy themes this month, which is a brave leap forward. And it's very hard to talk about being courageous and being brave without talking about the impact that fear has on our being. And what I've noticed in the last week or so, the energies have really shifted. Most of June has honestly felt a bit like a dream to me. It's been really beautiful energies as we led into solstice, and then I think we had a little bit of a come back to earth moment this week, and it's been a little bit different. And it's not been bad, it's just been different. And what I've been noticing for me is that there's a very palpable knowing that some things are coming to a close and that some chapters are ending. And always for me, I go back to what happened when I was a kid, when I would have to change grades or just change anything, and the anxiety and the fear and all the not knowing comes in. And as I've been working with clients this week, that's been the theme of this feeling that they know that they have to let go of something, maybe even a whole aspect of themselves is ready to be released, a version of themselves is ready to be released, but they're in resistance and they're having a hard time letting go because there's some fear of not knowing what's going to be happening next and what's coming next. And I think it might have been like a year and a half ago, maybe more, I was working with my guides on the frequency of fear and working with it in the collective in different places. And the explanation that they gave me was that fear is an acronym for future energy activation response, and that 90% or more of our fear comes from projecting our thoughts into the future and trying on different scenarios and different timelines and worrying about what could happen based on either experiences that we've had in the past or experiences that we have seen other people or our family have. And so it's not present time energy. And that's really important, because the fact that it's not present time energy means that when we are going into fear and we are projecting into that energy, we are literally drawing those things to us. And I think sometimes when I say that, people are like, gosh, I have to be perfect in my thoughts, I can never have any fear. No, your vibration and your being is what is calling things to you. So you can go into those places, you can go into those thought forms, and it's only when you orient to that as being your truth and orient your whole being, your whole vibratory being to that as being your truth, that you are actually calling those things in. So there's a slight difference between visioning and considering all of your options and what could happen versus allowing your whole body, your whole being to orient to that possibility and acting as if it is happening now. Okay? So that's a very important distinction. And so what I find is that if we can catch these thought forms and we can catch these scenarios that we're creating, and we can do something to interrupt that thought form, right? Go for a walk, or even just take a deep breath, or do a short meditation practice or a yoga practice or something to shift the energy in our being away from that fear thought form for just a moment. Then we interrupt that anchoring that sometimes happens in our body, where we orient to that possibility of what might happen. And you might have to do this a lot of times throughout the day if you're going through a particularly big changing period that's bringing up a lot of fear for you. And so when we are taking the time to monitor and observe our thoughts and realize that they are not dictating our full being, they are not dictating our full reality, and we are able to be with our mental body in a way that doesn't say that everything that we think is going to happen, then we have a greater control over our manifestation process. And this is by design, right? I feel like a lot of what's happening right now is that maybe in the past we were asked to let go of something because we saw something else coming and we felt what was coming and we knew what was coming. We are not manifesting in that way anymore. We're manifesting much more in real time now, which means that we let something go. And if we can fully align with letting it go and letting it drop out of our field and being in that place of trust, something new comes in really quickly. But we are not really adept at manifesting in that manner because our entire society has taught us that we have to have a plan. We have to make sure we have everything figured out. If the plan changes, then we need to freak out and we need to redo everything, right? And so as I've been working through this, as some things have been shifting in my own experience, I'm noticing how that's getting triggered for other people too. And how they're coming to me and they're saying, Katie, I know that this is ending, but I'm terrified to really let go of it because I don't know what's going to take its place or what's going to come in next and what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And what I always work on is getting them back into their body, working with whatever past energy is getting re-triggered in the now moment from their past where maybe something didn't work out or something from their childhood, clearing the trauma that might be activating that fear story, and then really just grounding their mental body and having them take a moment to pull back those thoughts and drop into, okay, what's happening right now? Right now, nothing has changed yet, right? Now you're safe. And so how can you create from a place of safety? And so this is that constant pulling ourselves back into the now moment. And sometimes what happens when these kinds of things get triggered is instead of pulling ourselves back into the now moment and taking some sort of recentering action, we actually just go into this place where we start distracting ourselves and we start getting on social media, or we drop into a show, or we watch something, we go do something that is an energy that is maybe not very embodied. And that's a chronic thing that I think we're conditioned to do on this planet when things get intense, is we just check out a little bit. And what I'm finding right now is that these energies are actually wanting us to sit down and take our medicine a little bit and be really present with the fear that's coming up, because we're moving into a time, this is the year of the embodied way shower, the way shower, right? The year of the way shower. And you can't be a way shower if you're afraid to take action, right? You can't be a way shower if you're afraid to move forward, if you have a whole bunch of fear to put yourself out there. And we're really being invited to step up and lead and step out into being seen in the truth of who we are, so that other people can know that they're not alone, right? That's the whole point of the way shower vibration. And so we need to face these fears. And it's interesting, I recorded a sound healing for my subscribers the other night, and it was focused on this theme of a brave leap forward. And what kept coming through was this mantra of I am safe, I am safe. So this feeling of lack of safety when things are changing, and what we've oriented towards as creating safety for ourselves, I think is also very important. So if you've locked into safety coming from the house that you live in, the job that you have, the relationship that you're in, right? If that's how you define safety, and one of those three things is changing right now, or you feel like it needs to change, of course you're going to have a fear response, and you're going to go into old stories where you didn't feel safe, right? Back into your childhood where you didn't feel safe in your household, back into that ex-relationship that you're not in anymore where you weren't safe, right? Whatever those times were in your life, those are going to get re-triggered if you've attached your safety to certain things that are changing. And it's not bad, right? If you're attaching safety, I'm safe if I have a house, if I have this in my bank account, if I have this job, if I have that thing, that's a human experience, right? But I think what we're being asked to do now is to find safety in the now. Find safety in the feelings of being here on this planet, being connected to the earth, being connected to source, being in community, being in a place where we can be in our true authentic expression. I think we're being asked to find safety, not so much from the things that we've always attached into. I've been teaching my New Earth Now school for almost a year now. We're moving on to our last modules in July and August. And everything that we've done has been to dismantle where we've attached our empowerment energy to these systems that are changing, right? The government, the financial system, the technology systems, all these different places where we've attached into that as being a part of what creates our power and our safety, we've been dismantling that. And the ultimate conclusion and what we're going to be working on in August is, okay, if we're not pulling our power from those places and we're not being dictated to by those places as to what it means to be in a human experience, how are we doing that? And the reality is, it's our connection to Mother Earth. It's our invitation that we accepted when we came here to be a being of source here on this planet, living our life to our fullest expression and being in our joy and being in love and being in play and being in connection with other people in that vibration. And so that's what we want to start anchoring into as safety. But here's the rub. We have been conditioned over and over again that if we anchor into safety as I'm joyful, I'm in love, I'm loving, right? I am a vital being that's expressing myself in a human experience. If I anchor into that, I've had experiences in the past where something felt really good. I felt really good in my being and I anchored into it and then it got taken away. And so we assume that is the way that it's going to keep happening. But normally the reason why that vibration shifted out is because we weren't able to hold it, right? We had more work to do. We had more energy to clear. We had more trauma to deal with to be able to hold that vibration, that really high frequency. My friends, guess what? We've been spending the last 10 years clearing out that trauma, clearing out this muck, working through a freaking pandemic that was triggering so many things for us. It is now time for us to anchor into the joy and anchor into the connection and anchor into the beauty that is here. It's time for us to anchor into something besides suffering and struggle. And I get that that's really scary. I think we're more afraid to be joyful and connected and happy than we are afraid of anything else, if I'm being honest. And that makes sense, right? We all have stories, we all have experiences where we were in that moment and somebody came in and rained on our parade. We are in this place now where we are learning how to hold and protect that vibration of happy and joy and love that is our natural birthright, how to hold that even when things are happening outside of us that are uncomfortable. We're in that practice zone right now. You don't have to calibrate to the struggle anymore. You never had to, but you really don't have to anymore. So those are my thoughts for this Wednesday. I hope this lands. I would love to hear from you and hear what this brings up for you. How are you calibrating to your joy right now? How are you calibrating into a place of love and connection and not anchoring into the fear? One of the things when fear comes up that I notice is that if I can't bring love in to be with that fear and I just try to be in the fear and process it all on its own, I have a really hard time stepping out of it. So you have to find these other frequencies and bring them in to be with that fear, okay? And let it dismantle that fear. Let it be loved, okay? So have a beautiful week. We have some very exciting things on Saturday this week. We have a embodiment ecstatic dance up at Clarity Healing Farm with a cacao ceremony and a fire and all kinds of wonderful things happening. My husband's going to be DJing. I'll be there dancing. Rain or shine. Bye.